So today we're going to do a part D question. Just as a reminder before we start, we do have Kids of Colour today at 5. It's not cancelled this week. I know it was last week, which is annoying. And it would be great to see you there, as always. This is, and still actually, old Year 11s are still invited to this. Hold on, let me turn the notifications off because, actually, you can still hear me now. Sweet. So, yeah, it'd be really nice to see you there. There are a few Year 11s from last year who I think are coming tonight. But it's just a nice space for us to be able to have like a bit of a community. And I can't remember whether it was your class or the other Year 11s who I was talking to it about. One of the things that I'm really missing at the moment about school is just being able to have chats with people. Yes, I will do. I'll add you right now, in fact. One of the things that I'm really missing about school is just being able to have chats with people. You know, like say if I'm on break duty and I can just come over and have a chat with you, or seeing people in the corridor, and whether that's people in my lessons or just other students. And maybe you're feeling the same way. Maybe you're missing having interactions with people. Hopefully it's not just me that's a loner missing people. But that's why it's a really nice space to be in. And if you don't want to say things in it, you don't have to say things. You can just, sorry, I'm just adding Anna now. You can just be part and listen to what other people have to say, but it is a really nice place to go. So I hope I do see some of you there tonight. I know there's lots of regulars in here who come every time, which is great. So today, last lesson, you had revision time for Muslim beliefs. So we're not going to spend loads of time on this now. We've got some information on the PowerPoint. The question that we're going to be answering today, I'll just post it into the chat so you can see it. There we go. Sorry. Is Muslims should obey all Islamic holy books, not just the Quran. So what we're going to be doing in this question then is we're going to be looking at reasons why Muslims would say that the Quran is the only holy book we need to listen to, but then reasons why other Muslims would disagree and say actually we should pay attention to all of the holy books. Now, we haven't done this topic since you were in year 9, when you were my little babies before you all grew up. So this is an old topic, and that's why I gave you some time to have a look at it to kind of refresh your memory. But if we see here our keywords, here are the names of some of the holy books. If we look at Kutubullah as a whole, that's talking about all the books of Allah. And so we know that different holy books were revealed to different prophets over time and had messages in there. So some Muslims would say this, and there's a YouTube video that is linked with this if you want to go back and watch it afterwards, that says rejection of one of them is rejection of all of them. That is one Muslim viewpoint, that they would say actually that you need to look at all the holy books together. So as a reminder, here is what all the names of the different holy books and the prophets who they were revealed to. This is a good thing for us to have, just so that we can use examples in our Part D answer, and that will give us a higher leveled mark. Oh yeah, I'll do that at the end of the lesson. So if you were saying, some Muslims would say that you should pay attention to all holy books, for example, the Torah, which was revealed to Musa, because, so it's unlikely that you'd ever get a question that would say something like, outline the name of 3 or name 3 Muslim holy books and who they were revealed to. That is unlikely, but this information is just to show your understanding of the topic in more detail. So if we have a look here, it shows you what is included in each of the holy books. Now, this is useful because these are all points that we can have for why these holy books are important. So, for example, if we were to look at um, the Torah, but Torah is what we'll use, and in this book it includes lots of laws, like the Ten Commandments are here, rules for what followers of God should be doing. So a Muslim could say that this is important because it includes these rules, it includes these laws that God told people to follow. So things like do not murder or whatever. You might also you think about the Injil, that Isa is such an important prophet to Muslims, and so having his teachings is an important thing for Muslims to have. In that he is important, and so therefore what he says is important, and that you think that as a prophet of Allah, that what he's saying is being said with Allah's approval. But then on the other side, if we have a look at the bottom, we've got the Quran, which obviously revealed to Muhammad, and Muslims could say that he is the seal of the prophets. He's the final prophet, and therefore his message is the most relevant and up to date. So what I would like you to do, if we have a look at this table, I'm going to do the register, and whilst I do, I would like you to start thinking of points just from what we've just looked at there, points that we could have to agree and to disagree. If you just start typing them or just start thinking about them, if you're going to unmute, and then when I've done the register, we can go through some ideas together. Good afternoon, Mohammed. Okay, so does anyone want to share their points with us, reasons that we can have to agree or disagree? So good, brilliant to see loads of people responding. So let's start with Paris. All have important messages from Allah. Yes, definitely. So that would be a reason why Muslims would say that you should obey all Islamic holy books, because they're all coming from God. Good. And to support that, yeah, Jad is saying about the Abrahamic religions and the links between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and how those prophets are all messengers from God. Good. Yes, and Khadija, they're all revealed by Allah. If we look to Lordina for disagree, so Lordina, this would be a point to agree, wouldn't it? Muslims should obey all the Islamic holy books. So yes, so a point to agree. And giving a specific example, Lordina, which is really good. Talking about the Torah, if we make sure we use the Arabic word, because yes, it's showing Muslims the things that they should and shouldn't do. Good. So a point to disagree from Roha, that the Quran is the final revelation of Allah, and so therefore this supersedes, this is more important than all the other holy books. Good. One thing I would talk about as well, yeah, good. One thing I would talk about as well is the idea that Allah's nature is unchanging. So it's not like he would reveal a message and then years down the line go, oops, I made a mistake there. I don't agree with that anymore. Obviously, that's not how Allah works. So if he revealed something in the past, then that means it's worthwhile today. It means that it's something that Muslims should still be following now. So if we think about how strong and weak the arguments are, we can look at different sewers. And so I'll share some of those with you now. So here's a table of points. I think we've pretty much mentioned all of those. Yeah, but the third point, that Muslims can't pick and choose what they should ignore. So if we have a look here at this sewer for the points to agree, it says, we gave Isa the Injil with guidance, light, and confirmation of the Torah already revealed as a guide and a lesson for those who take heed of God. So this is Allah speaking and saying, I gave Isa, Jesus, I gave Isa the Injil with guidance. So it's this idea, and talking about the Torah as well, this idea then that Muslims should be following all of these holy books, because Allah is saying here that he revealed these to be a guide to Muslims. So here then, this is a strong point. Yeah, it's a strong point because Allah is saying it in the Quran that you should listen to these holy books. Okay, if we look at the points to disagree, one thing as well, so people have said to disagree that we can talk about the Quran being the final revelation. Good. We could also say about how the Quran is the only, Muslims believe is the only holy book that hasn't been corrupted or changed over time. This is the only unchanged word of Allah, and therefore is more important than the other ones and should be the only one that we trust. So the Surah, we've got this one. It says the Quran is nothing less than a revelation that is sent to him. The Prophet's own heart did not distort what he saw. Yeah, so the Prophet hasn't influenced this or changed this. It's words that's coming directly from Allah. So again, I would say that this is strong, because we've got talking about the importance of the Quran, but it's weakened because it doesn't actually say in the Quran, don't listen to the other holy books. Yeah, that could be the only way the disagree arguments were strong, is if it actually said in the Quran, this is the only one you need to listen to, but it doesn't say that. So we're going to have a go at answering this. We'll do it the same way that we usually do, where I'll give you 12 minutes, and then I'll put up a link to me talking through a model answer. And then if you want to make any changes, you can do, and you can then turn in that assignment. I've scheduled the assignment to go up in 5 minutes' time, but don't worry, you've got until the end of the day. I'll set the deadline as 3:30, I guess. But that gives us enough time, the 12-minute writing time, plus then any corrections you want to improve. Because this is that what time you want to do it until, Lordina? It's fine. To be honest, it doesn't really make a difference. I'll mark it at the end of the day anyway, and tomorrow morning. So what was I going to say then? But just a reminder, and I know I say this every time, but just to stress again, you want to have 1 point to agree and 1 point to disagree. If you can link some of these points together and have them kind of following on from the next, then do. But our answer shouldn't say one reason to agree is this means, another reason to agree is this means. It's 1 point to agree and 1 point to disagree. Then for the higher level answers, we need to say how strong or weak they are. When we're doing this, we're not saying it's strong because, and then giving a new point. All the points have to come beforehand. When we're saying it's strong or weak, it can literally just be a sentence. Say, this is a strong point because Allah commands it in the Quran. That's literally all you need to do for saying whether it's strong or weak. Then when it comes to the conclusion, we want to refer to the other side. So we might say, in conclusion, while some Muslims might disagree because the Quran is the final revelation, and would then look at points to agree and say, but blah, 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 blah. So, well, we can think of ways that we can link them. So, say if we look at the points to agree, Paris, and we're saying that all the holy books are Allah's message, and so and we can talk about that and use that sower. But then we can also say they're all his message, and because he's unchanging, and because he's the same, what he revealed in the holy books before is still relevant today. You see what I mean? So some points will be completely different and they won't match each other at all. But where you can get them to link, then do. Does that make sense? Okay, sweet. I just want to quickly look at our last part D question. Just give me 1 second whilst I open it up. And so for this one, I only had 6 people submit it. And what I'm noticing, the people who are submitting it, their marks are getting better all the time. People are genuinely improving their work. We had a few people who were getting up to level 7, 8, 9 mark. And sorry, that's grades. Level 3 and level 4 answers. So Paris, Lordina, and Arsal all got level 4 answers in the level 3 or level 4 answers in the last one. Remember this, because it's Muslim beliefs, we get 3 marks for SPAG on this. So if you don't use keywords, you're not going to be able to get those 3 marks, and those 3 marks are a gift. Lordina on the last answer got 13 out of 15, which is fantastic. What I'd make us do if we were in classes that we do a round of applause. Roa, sorry, I've closed it now. If you look, what you should be doing every time I mark your assessment, every time I mark this work, I give you individualized feedback telling you what you need to do to improve. So we should be looking at that. And what mark is a level 4? So a level 4 is 10, 11, or 12 out of 12, and then you'll have the SPAG marks on top of that. I'm not giving anyone higher than 10 marks out of 12 because the exam board have never released an answer for the topics that we do that is higher than 10 marks out of 12, which is ridiculous because we're years into this course now. But that's why I don't give higher than 10. So Lordina got the maximum amount of marks that she could do, which is fantastic. But I can see even just we've done 2 of these now, have we? And already the progress that people are making from one to the next, I'm really pleased with. I think as a class, for the people who are submitting their work, they're doing a really good job, and I'm really pleased with how we're getting on. The issue, I guess, is that there's lots of people who aren't submitting their work. If you don't submit your work, I can't tell you how to improve. And it makes it very difficult for me to predict you a grade. The people, even the people who submit it and don't do that well, but then listen to the feedback and improve the next time, that to me makes me think, right, if we were in school, this person would be improving all the time because they're listening to what I'm saying and they're improving their mark. So I don't really care what mark you get as long as you've tried and that you can see what you needed to do better. So for the people, like I say, the people who are submitting their work, you're putting yourself in a really good position for getting a good grade. We need to get more people submitting their work from this class. At the moment, I know all year I've been saying how well we've been doing. In the other class at the moment, I'm getting about 15 people submitting their work each time, and in this class, it's about 8. So we need to raise our game a bit. But again, this isn't a nag for the people who are doing it. There are some people in this class who are doing a fantastic job, and I really appreciate your effort. And I really appreciate all of you coming on and being in the lesson and listening to what I'm talking to you about. Even that's better than the people who aren't coming. So does anyone have any questions about this question that we're doing today? If not, good luck with it. In 12 minutes time, I'll put up a link to a video of me talking through a model answer that you can use, and then you can submit your assignment. So I hope I see you at Kids of Colour later on. No worries, you take care, Khadija. Take care, everyone. Love you all. I'll speak to you soon. Oh, will I see you before half term? It's half term now, isn't it? So have a good one. All right, take care, everyone. Bye bye.